Welcome back, Finxters. Now, today we will be learning about pagination. Now, pagination refers to the division of entire web content into numerous web pages and then displaying the web content page by page for proper visualization and also to provide a better user experience. Now, you must remember that pagination can be handled either on the client end or on the server end. Thus, while building a web scraper, it can be extremely challenging to scrape contents if the website has implemented pagination. Thus, in this tutorial, we will learn about the different types of pagination in a website and how to scrape contents from them. So, pagination can be of numerous types, but most websites implement one of these types of paginations. So that is, there are majorly four types of paginations that you will generally find implemented in a website. The first kind of pagination is pagination with a next button, wherein the website will have a next button and you can click on that next button to move on to the next page. Then we have pagination without next button. In this type of pagination, you'll find a web page that does not have a next button. However, it has numbered links such that when you click on a particular number, that takes you to a particular page. Then we have infinite scroll. In infinite scroll, as you keep scrolling the page with the help of your mouse or your keypad, the contents keep loading. Then we have the load more button. In this type of pagination, you'll find a load more button in the page, and as soon as you click on the load more button, more contents get loaded onto the page. Now, don't worry, we will have a look at different examples to understand what each pagination looks like, and then we will also learn how to scrape websites which have implemented pagination within them. So, without further delay, let us have a look at the first type of pagination where we have a next button. Now, if you have a look at this website, which is Books to Scrape, and when we scroll down, you'll find that this page has a next button. So, here is the next button. As soon as I click on it, we move on to page 2. So, see the footer here. We are now on page 2. Now, as soon as we click on next, then again we will move on to page 3. So, this is how this kind of pagination works. Also, if you have a close look, you'll find that not only does it have a next button, it also has a previous button. So when you click on the previous button, you can move on to the previous page. But what's important to note here is that we have a particular next button, and in order to scrape these pages, you have to find some way to locate this next button on the HTML of this page. So let us dive into the solution and let us find out how we can scrape websites like these. What we can do is we can create code wherein we will be scraping this footer information from each page. That means when we are on page 1, then we will simply go ahead and scrape page 1 of 8. Then when we are on page 2, then we can scrape page 2 of 8. And if you have a look at the URL here, you will find that it changes accordingly. So now I'm on page 2. Let's say I want to move on to page 8. So I'll change the URL to page 8. And as soon as I do that, you can see that I have reached page 8. So this is what will help us to navigate through all the pages. Well, that's a lot of theory. So let us go ahead and find out how we can actually implement this in our code. Now, to make things simple, we will follow a step-by-step process, and doing it in this way will help us to solve the problem quickly. So let us first go ahead and import the necessary libraries. So let's import the requests library. Now let's import beautiful soup. So from BS4, import beautiful soup. Now we need the help of another library here, and that is urllib.parse. And from it, we want to import the URL join method. Now, what is URL join? Let's have a look. The URL join method is used to add new values to the base URL. So that essentially means that if this right here is the base URL, and then we want to append or join this part, that is page8.html, to this base URL, then the URL join method will help us to do so. That is, it will help us to club this section, that is page8.html, to this base URL. So that is the functionality of URL join. It is simply used to add new values to the base URL. We will visualize this further when we move ahead with our code. So please stay tuned. Okay. We have now successfully imported all the necessary libraries. It is now time to create the user agent. Now this is optional, but it is always recommended to use a user agent. In fact, you should rotate your user agents. That will help you avoid getting blocked by a certain website. Hence, let's quickly go ahead and let's create our user agent. Okay, we have now successfully defined our user agent. Let us now go ahead and extract the base URL. So this right here is the base URL. Let's use a variable URL and let's store the base URL within this. Okay, we now have our base URL as well. It is now time to implement the logic. We will keep iterating as long as the pages exist. So we will use a while loop for that, while true, and this will help us to iterate as long as the pages exist. Don't worry, we will define a condition afterwards so that we can break out of this loop as well. But as of now, let's consider that we want to iterate as long as the pages exist, and the while loop will help us to do so. So what do I mean when I say that we will iterate as long as the pages exist? So as you can see, when we move on to our base URL, then it shows in the footer information that we have a total of 8 pages, and in the base URL we are currently at page 1. So we will have to iterate until page 8. So that is what I mean when I said that we will iterate as long as the pages exist. Now let us go ahead and send a GET request. So let's say I'll use a variable response, and within it I'll send the GET request. So request dot get, and then I'll pass the URL, and I'll also define the headers argument and pass the user agent that I created. Before we proceed further, let us go ahead and check if we are getting a response or not. That is, if the status code is 200 or not. In case it is 200, that means we are successfully getting a response. So let's check that. Well, yes, we are getting a proper response. Okay, it's time to continue. Now let us go ahead and let's create the beautiful soup object that will actually help us to parse the data. So soup equals beautiful soup, and let's pass the response within it, response.content. So we have passed the content of the response received, and then HTML.parser object. Okay, now this is where the fun begins. We will go ahead and extract the footer information from each page. So if this is our page, then we will go ahead and extract this information from each page and then print it. So our first task is to go ahead and inspect the web page. So right click and click on inspect. Okay, we can now visualize the HTML of this page. Now let's go ahead and select this part and let's inspect this part within our HTML. So as you can see that the footer information is stored within a list that has the class current. So we can locate or find the footer information within this list element. And how do we locate this list element? We can locate it or we can extract it with the help of its class, which is current. So let's say we have a variable footer. Within this, we will store the contents of the footer. Then we need the help of our soup object, that is the beautiful soup object, dot, and then we are going to use the select_one method. So let's try and understand what the select_one method does. The select_one method finds only the first tag that matches a selector. So in this case, when we extract this list with the help of this class, then it will extract the first occurrence of such a list with the current class. And then we are going to extract its content, which is page 1 of 8 in this case. And it is going to be page 2 of 8, 3 of 8, and so on. So the element that we want to extract is a list that belongs to the class current. Let me check it once again. Yes, the class is current. So we have now successfully extracted the footer element. Let us now go ahead and print this. So let's print footer, and then we need to extract the text. So dot text, and then let's go ahead and also strip any existing white space. Okay, that's it. We have now successfully extracted the footer element. Well, until now, what we have done is we have extracted the footer element from the current page, that is page 1 of 8. So this is page 1 of 8. But now we need to navigate through all the pages and extract all the footer elements. So how are we going to do that? In order to do that, we need to locate this next button on our HTML. So how are we going to check that? Let's go ahead and highlight this, or let's right click on this and let's inspect. And as soon as we do that, we find that this next button is contained within a list element that belongs to the next class. Wonderful. So we now know that there's a list element which has the class next, and within it, we can find the link to the next button, which will take us to the next page. So let's say that we have a variable next underscore page, and now let's extract that element with the help of the beautiful soup object. So soup dot, and once again we use select underscore one method, and then li, that is the list element which has the class next. Now this URL is present within the A tag. So we need to actually extract the A tag. So all we have to do is this. But we have now extracted the link to the next page. We have not defined the entire URL. So we need the entire URL to navigate to the next page. And to navigate to the next page, the first task that we have to do is to check if the next page exists or not. We will navigate to the next page only if the next page exists. However, if it does not exist, in that case, we will break out of the loop. So let's find out how we can locate that. So let's click on next. And as you can see, at this point of time, we are on page 2. So we found that there are total 8 pages. So let's move on to page 8. Okay, we are now on page 8. Now let's scroll down. And if you see on page 8, we don't have any next button here. So let's try to click on the previous button and let's inspect that. So as you can see, we now have a list that has the class previous, but there's no list element which has the class next. That means as long as there's a list element which has the class next, only then we can be sure that there's a next page. So let's say that we are now on page 7. So as soon as we move on to page 7, we find that there's a next button once again, and let's inspect it. And there we go. We can see that there's a list element which has the class next. So that means whenever there is a list element that belongs to the next class, in that case, we will find, or we will definitely have the link to move on to the next page. However, if this element does not exist, then this means that there are no more pages to be navigated. Well, we extracted the link within this next underscore page variable. So what we can simply do is to check if next underscore page exists or not. If it exists, only then we go ahead and navigate to the next page. So to navigate to the next page, we now need to define or store the URL of the next page. So how do we get the URL of the next page? For that, let's view our website once again. So let's say that now we are on page 7. And if we have to navigate to page 8, then we can find the link to the next page that we have to attach to this base URL is located here. And this A tag is what we have already extracted previously within next underscore page variable. So all we have to do now is to extract the href element from this and then join it with our base URL. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's first extract the href. So to do that, let's create a variable next underscore URL equals, and within this we'll store href. And to do that, let's grab next underscore page dot, and from this we are going to grab href element with the help of the get method. So within get, we are going to pass href. So this will help us to extract this href link. It is now time to redefine the URL. So we are going to use the URL join method. And now we are going to join the base URL and next underscore URL. So what this will do is that it will join the base URL and the link that will help us to move on to the next page. And both of these together comprise the actual URL of the next page. And how long do we keep doing this, or how long do we keep changing the URL? as long as we have the next underscore page element. That is, this variable is not none. As soon as this is none, then we go ahead and we define our else block within which we break out of the loop. So as soon as Python finds that there is no next underscore page element, in that case, it breaks out of the loop and we have our final output. Well, we are simply printing the footer element in this case. You can also go ahead and play around with the page. For example, you can go ahead and extract the name of the book, the price, whether it is in stock or not, and so on. But this is just an example to show you how pagination works with the help of next button. So we are simply extracting the footer element in this case. Also, in order to visualize how we are navigating to each URL, let us go ahead and print the current URL in every iteration. So that way you will be able to find or visualize how we are navigating across each page through their URL. Well, we are done with our code. Let's execute this and let's find out if this works or not. Wonderful, it's working. We are now extracting each page one by one along with its URL. Well, that's it. We have successfully extracted the URL of each page along with the footer information. So this is how you can scrape a page that has implemented pagination with the help of the next button. I hope this helped you. Please stay tuned because in the next lecture, we are going to learn how to scrape from a website that does not have a next button. Rather, it is going to have numbered links. That's it for this lecture then. Please join me in the next lecture.